I'll never understand the logic of a Democrat because what they're doing and what they did today just tells us what we're not supposed to know, that they want anyone and everyone to be able to vote for them no matter what country they're from, how long they've been in the United States, or if they are even a legal United States citizen. And that was the vote tally from the U.S. House of Representatives voting on the SAVE Act. And the SAVE Act amends the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. And basically what it's doing, it's implementing a documentation requirement that people have to prove when they register to vote that they are a legal United States citizen. What is wrong with that? I don't understand for the life of me how Congressional Democrats can think this is a bad thing when we all know you need proof of identity for everything. To purchase alcohol, to purchase a firearm, to get on an airplane, to get on a cruise ship, and so on and so on and so on. But Congressional Democrats believe that it's racist and xenophobic, yes, xenophobic, to ask people what country they're from and to prove that they are in the United States legally in order for them to vote in a federal election.
It is under attack right now, right here with this very bill. Republicans want to throw up barriers because when people vote, they lose. Let me be clear. They don't want you to vote. They don't want to hear black voices, brown voices, LGBTQIA voices, young voices. Our fundamental access to our democracy is being politicized. And this xenophobic attack that we're debating today will make it harder for Americans to vote. My Republican colleagues will claim that requiring IDs is a small ask, but nearly 30 million people lack a valid driver's license, and about 15 to 18 million adults don't have access to documents proving their birth or citizenship. Americans don't need more obstacles.
And again, that was Representative Summer Lee on her little rant. She's so upset and she's beside herself because Republicans want people to prove they are U.S. citizens to vote in a federal election. Why is this becoming such a big problem all of a sudden? Why? It wasn't a problem in 2020 because we all know Joe Biden got 81 million votes, right? We all know that. But all of a sudden, since we see more and more Joe Biden failing, and we see a host of Democrats and the Hollywood elite calling for him to step aside, and he remains in the race. He says he's going to make it to the end, and it's my belief that Dr. Jill is making him stay, but that's a story for another day. Summer Lee actually said, and she meant it, that it's racist and xenophobic to ask people to prove they are in this country legally, that they are legal United States citizens. And the definition of xenophobic, if you don't know, because I didn't know and I had to look it up, it's basically having or showing a dislike or prejudice against people from other countries. So Summer Lee will tell you, and she'll want you to believe, that House Republicans do not like people from other countries, which is absolute nonsense. Where everybody is for legal immigration. Come to our country, live a better life, but do it the right way. But these Democrats want you to believe that by not allowing people to vote because they don't have documentation is racist and xenophobic. And you heard Summer Lee say that at least 30 million people do not have a valid driver's license or ID. Why is that? Why do 30 million people not have a driver's license, and how does she even know that? Where is she getting her data from? I don't know, so I'll have to take her word for it. And she also said that 15 to 18 million people do not have access to documentation to prove they're citizens. Well, I'll tell you what. People, if you're born in this country, there is a record. There is a birth certificate of the date, the time, the place, the gender, all on the birth certificate. But Summer Lee is of the belief that 15 to 18 million people don't have access to this documentation. I'm skeptical. You know me. I don't believe it. If you want to prove you're a legal citizen of this country, there are ways to do it, and it can be done. But do not tell a Democrat that, especially again, because everybody knows that Joe Biden is failing. They'll tell you he's healthy, he's coherent, he knows what he's doing. But when they close the door, they'll tell you he should step down, he's no good, he's going to lose. Okay? This is where we are in the United States of America in 2024. They want illegal residents, if you will. They call them the newcomers. They want the God knows how many millions have come into this country in the last 3 years. Congressional Democrats and Joe Biden want them to be able to cast a vote for the presidency. And who will they vote for if they're allowed to? They'll vote for Joe Biden because he's the one that had the open arms, the open gates. Keep coming, keep coming. It doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter if you're a criminal. It doesn't matter if you're on a terror watch list. Just keep on coming to the United States. Cast your vote for us, and then we may or may not send you back, which is absolute nonsense. If you want to vote in a federal election in this country and you can't find your proof of citizenship, then I'm sorry, you cannot vote. But these Democrats want you to believe that Republicans are trying to stifle brown people, black people, of course, LGBTQ people. They don't want to hear their voices. When quite frankly, a lot of Republicans are black. Black congressmen, congresswomen. What's the problem? They don't care what gender you say you are. They don't care what color your skin is. If you're a legal citizen, by all means vote. And if you vote Democrat, so be it. So what they're preaching and the propaganda they're spewing in Congress to try to make the American people believe that the other side of the aisle is racist and xenophobic should be an eye-opener for all Americans. They had a plan when Biden took the oath of office to open the borders and let them flow into this country by the millions. Because that's the only way he would be able to get reelected in 2024, because we all knew from the get-go our country was going to fail under his leadership, and we've seen it for the last 3 and some odd years, and we're continuing to see it every single day. And they'll lie about it, they'll make up stories about it, and then they'll point the finger at the other side and say, they're cheap fakes, they're making it up, they're editing video of Biden screwing up, when we all know the real deal. So again, this should be an eye-opener for all Americans. If you want to vote in a federal election in this country, you prove that you're a citizen. Bottom line, end of story. And if you can't, oh well. It's not xenophobia. It's not racism. It's common sense. If you're from Venezuela and you don't belong in this country, you don't get to vote for the president. Okay? If you're from any other country, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iraq, wherever these people are coming from, if you don't belong in this country and you're not here legally, you cannot vote for the presidency. End of story, and that's it. Wake up, people. The Democrats do not want to lose because they want to keep control of our country, and they want to keep turning it into a third world country. And if it continues the way it's continuing, and a Democrat gets elected in November, we are this much closer to becoming a third world country.